Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our third meeting. We are going to continue our discussion on different topics of R&D. We have 3 new persons so far, so I hope the others will join us soon. Could you please ask you to introduce yourself, Ali, Said, and Kayvan? So we start from Ali.
Yeah, so my name is Ali. I'm living in Milton, so I'm working in a train company which produce chillers. So I'm a mechanical engineer. So yeah, do you need more information or?
What's your interest area in R&D?
Now I'm working on a smart garden, a smart
gardening.
Garden. So I'm in the middle of that one. So I designed the electronics, mechanics with one of my friends. So
very good.
Yeah.
Are you going to use IoT technology?
No, it's not very high technology. This one's the sensors, Wi-Fi sensors, some actuators. It's very easy. So
yeah, that's very good. So we were talking to a couple of my friends before on working on a startup in a start farming and a start gardening. So it would be a good start that you join us in our team later. So if you like, so we can talk about it. That's very great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Said, dear Said, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Said. My major at university was industrial engineering, but I've been working in the IT. I can say I never worked in the industrial engineering very seriously. The area I'm working on now is a cloud computing. I'm very good with the Microsoft cloud-based applications. And the area I'm interested for now is just getting more information with the different type of the areas. I'm not focusing on a specific area. And also I'm living in Toronto.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Dear Kayvan, so could you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Kayvan and I have master in electrical engineering, control engineering actually. And my interest is more in the electric subjects, microcontroller systems and IoT, and also the system control, industrial control designing, like the PLC programming and machine learning and different.
Guys, could you please, if you don't mind, ask you to turn on your videos if there is no privacy issues, so at least we can meet each other, if it's possible for you. Thank you. Dear Azadeh, could you please introduce yourself? You are new.
Sure. So I should speak in English, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. First of all, nice to meet you all. I am Azadeh. I'm currently research fellow in Group 4 research for decision making in Business School of Montreal. And my major is energy system modeling, optimization, climate change, and environmental policy. I was involved in different type of projects related to integration of sustainable energy generation storage with the existing energy system. Power to gas hydrogen is just highlights that maybe. Just very short, but I don't know what actually I have to tell about myself.
Yeah, have you already worked on any research projects? Have you already worked on any research project, or have you applied for any grants before?
Well, I previously applied for, let's say, MyTax. I have lots of, accepted MyTax proposal. And of course, some scholarship, some not actually scholarship, because I was not a student here. When actually I came to Canada, I was not a student. I was postdoc, and I actually awards and MyTax, And I applied for different type of project like Engage. Now it is not in Ontario anymore, but previously when it was,
Okay, very good. So So I will ask you in our future meetings to for you to have a pitch about your R&D projects, or if you have applied for any grants, talk about grants, learn us about your grants. Okay. Okay. Masood, could you please? Hi, Masood. Could you please just tell us? So Masood was volunteer for us to collect some information about the people attending this meeting, about their knowledge and interest areas. Could you please give us a report about that database?
Yes, hello everybody. Good night. Of course, good afternoon for some of you. But anyway, actually, yes, I collected some of data. Actually, not everybody completed the form, unfortunately. But if I have time, I can share the file here. I can share the screen and talk about it. We can review the topics. The aim of this data collection was to know which areas of expertise do the members of this group have, and what areas are they really interested to work on. And we gathered some information. I would like to talk about them, but I want to share it. I don't know how to share the screen here, and I don't know if you agree to do this.
No, there is a green button in the bottom. Green share
yes,
screen
yes,
button.
yes.
Click on it.
I saw it. Yes.
Yes.
Let me just find the file and share it with you. Just a moment, if you give me time.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Dr. Mashiri.
Fine.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Welcome, Mehdi, to the meeting.
Hello, Masood. Hello, Dr.
Hi, Dr. Moshiri. How are you?
Thanks a lot. Mateen.
Sure.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, welcome.
Oh, Yazati, how are you?
Thank you so much. Long time no see you, Doctor.
Yes. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah.
So can you see the file now?
We can see, right?
Great. The point is that we have, in fact, 6 people who completed this form. We asked 2 questions. First, what are your areas of expertise? And as you see, we have different areas of expertise here, like automation and control, Industry 4.0, IoT, AI, technology and energy, control automation system, advanced instrumentation systems, and so on. Some of them just overlapping, like AI, Industry 4.0, IoT, and some other parts like business innovation and other expertise we have in this group, and what areas or what ideas you'd like to work on. We are going to work on some projects, some research projects. So we need to know how to aim and how to direct our focus. So we have energy management, smart farming, computer vision, smart homes, smart buildings, smart shopping, funding and finance, education and training, research and development, supervision and consulting regarding above expertises. It means these expertises like control and automation systems and so on. Anyway, speech technologies, NLP, education, generally tech, AI, data science, renewable energy, big data analytics, IoT, blockchain, and digital technologies, of course, plus oil and gas. So these are the areas that some of the members of this group mentioned, and I would ask other members to complete this form. I will share this link again in the group, and I want others to complete it as well. That is it.
Okay, thank you. Could you please share the Google document file as well, yes, in here in the chat box here?
Here in the chat box, I will do
it.
it.
Here in the
Sure.
chat box, yes.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure. You're welcome. So I don't know. Stop sharing is done by this. Yes. Okay, I will share it with you now.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. So as we talked before in the previous sections, our main idea of forming this group and having this meeting is to create a platform where people can meet each other and become familiar with their R&D common interest areas so that they can work together in some work groups. So that information will help us to make that subgroups. We have two new persons, Payman and Mehdi have not introduced themselves yet. Could you please, Payman, introduce yourself, and then Mehdi? Payman, could you talk?
Yes, hello everyone.
And can you turn on your video, or if there's no
yes,
issues?
turn on. Just give me a few minutes. So Mehdi, can you go first, please? Thanks.
So Mehdi doesn't have video as a. Okay, yeah, thank you.
So seems Mehdi is not ready. Okay, anyway, hello everyone. I'm Payman. So I've been with Sinovate and Dr. Murtazavi since last March. So I know the team and the group, and I was in 3-part IoT classes. So I'm very passionate about this industry. I see future in it, and I'm happy to be in this group. It's my first meeting here as well.
What's your R&D research?
I'm lecturer at UBC and mostly focus on civil engineering, water resources management, and my research is data modeling and data fusion, data science, machine learning models, and mostly focused on forecasting series.
Thank you. Mehdi, are you ready to talk?
Sorry, I'm unmuted. This is Mehdi Hazrati. I graduated in the Master of Solid State Physics and Telecom Engineering. Right now, I'm working in GNet design for the designing the small watch with the new features, especially about the corona conditions. And I pass in some courses with the Dariush teams for the IoT in the 3 levels. But this is my passionate to working about the IoT application and solution. Thank you.
So it seems that most of us are interested in IoT.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. Can we start now? We are supposed to have the presentations by Bahman and Mateen. If there is no comments, or do you have any feedbacks or comments? You're welcome to talk about your ideas, and then we can start the presentation.
Excuse me, before the presentation, as I was supposed to send the file, unfortunately, I'm sending it, but I get an error, network disconnection. I don't know why, but I'm trying to do that again and again. So I will send it, yes.
Okay, no problem.
Anyway.
Anybody has any feedback, any
just
comments?
I have a question about the database that Masoud talked about, that when we fill the information, we have to send it back to you, Masoud, and then you can just collect everything.
In fact, it's a Google form, so you don't need to do anything else. Just filling it would be enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Masoud, could you please share the link one more time in chat box? Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was sharing the file, but I couldn't. But now I'm sharing with you the link. Yes.
Thank you.
He's trying to do it.
Can you, Masoud, sorry, can you share the document with our email addresses? And,
I will do that. No
you
problem.
Can do it,
no
but
problem.
you can share the document over there. Yeah.
I do not have access to the email addresses because when I was designing this Google form, I didn't ask for email addresses, but I will share it in the group as well. Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Sure. There's a WhatsApp group. Are you all members of that WhatsApp group? So if you are not member of that WhatsApp group, we can add you to the WhatsApp group, and the information could be shared there. Okay. Any other comments or?
So I
feedback?
sent the link, so I would be happy if you complete it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we received it. Thank
Sure.
you. Okay, so let's start with the two presentations by Bahman and Mateen. So,
Okay.
Bahman, do you want to start first?
No, no problem with the permission of you and Mateen. And
Mateen. So, or Mateen doesn't matter. So.
Thank you all for your time. And let me before go through the project that I want to talk about. Show you a very brief information about the startup, because the idea of research and development could be bring the product to the market. So in the last 4 years, I tried to learn about the business, about the entrepreneurship, and about how you can bring a product to the market. And here just I show you some brief of why I got. This is just my idea. This is just my point of view. Maybe it's good or it's wrong. I don't know, right or wrong. See this page?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The startup path, I think, should be a start with a goal and a dream. Sorry, with a dream, and if you mix it with a date and add some steps, and then do action, it could be a reality. So I believe that with only just mind, just way of thinking, it's difficult to start a business. Most of us has studied in the engineering field, so we learn that bring us a problem and ask us to solve this problem, and we go to solve the problem. In the business, there is no problem. If you want to start a business, you need to find the problem first. My experience, my mistakes in starting a business in the past was that when I got an idea, first action that I do was that I go through making the product, and 80% of my time goes to create the product that maybe nobody wants it, you know. So I think if we want to get benefit from this group, and if we want to work together, and the idea is to bring the product idea to the market, we have to collect 3 different thinking, 3 different characters, as I named it as a builder, as a brander, as a business developer. Most of us maybe is a builder. We can create a product and we can think about the product, but connecting the product to the customer is a different story. So I think that the successful startup, successful business could be mixed, at least maybe with different characters, or maybe 3 different person, as a brander, as a builder, as a business developer. And then this R&D that we talked about, we are here as an R&D group. Where is the stage of R&D when you want to start a business, when you want to run a business? To run a business, I made a very fast view. I divided the business stages, startup stages, from creating to the final stage as an exit. I divided 6 different stages that I called it pre-seed, seed, late stage seed, and then break-even point and hockey stick, grow, and then exit. Exit is that you got your job done and you want to give your shares in public shares. So I don't want to go through it, but I think it's a good idea if anybody wants to start a business as a startup, knows these stages and then know how to go through each one and manage each stage. So I believe that R&D is here in the second stage as a seed. So it means that you have your idea, you done with the market study, you know your business model, you registered your corporation, and you done your all documentation, you know the structure, you know your legal, you know accounting, insurance, and when you are a founder, the next step, maybe you can bring your product to R&D. Okay, this is just the brief information that I like to share with you guys. And now I'm going to talk about the project that I worked almost 2 years ago. The project was based on augmented reality. Augmented reality, I started to work on augmented reality about 4 years ago. And just to share and introduce the augmented reality with you, about 3 years ago, I bring this idea that you can make magazines or newspapers to life. So with this idea, I set a presentation and went to talk with some magazines, Iranian magazines and Canadian magazines. And this idea was that you can point a mobile app with augmented reality application to the magazine page or image, and then this image will become to life. You can play a video. You can show an object related to the picture, or even you can read the page. It could be very interesting for the semi-blind persons that they cannot see the magazines very well, but with this technique, they can hear what's in the magazine page, in the special page that they are pointing the mobile app to this page. Let me show you the presentation. Do I need to share the new share? Yeah.
Oh, we can see it.
You can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
A slideshow is in the bottom right.
Yeah. The bar of the Zoom is come over the screen. Okay, this was a business model that 3 years ago I went to the market to present a project to the magazine owners, and but after a while, when we start to work on the magazine, the corona happens, COVID-19 happened, and you know the magazine business just went to a shock and stopped. So this project stopped at that time. Just a quick review that the augmented reality technology works based on 4 different technology. One is a marker-based. That means that you point the device on a picture and something related to the pictures comes up. You don't need a special picture to point. You can set the object, you can bring the objects on a surface. The other one is the project-based augmented reality, that the project bring the pictures to the real objects. In this picture, you see the hands. The real object is hand, and the reality, the augmented reality objects are the keyboards. And the superimposition-based augmented reality that you see on some cars, that when you are driving, the pictures, the map, some information comes over the window. So what I decided to do was a mobile-based application to offer to the magazines at that time, to bring the printed items to life. So it's just some information about the market, and what this is the value proposition for the magazine, that they can get more readers with extra value that this application could brings to the magazine. And this is the again value proposition for advertiser, the people that wants to advertise to magazine can get some information. And this section is explaining about what we want to do for the magazine, and how we can secure the application. And this is the compare for the magazine, and I try to show them that what value they have, what expenses they have. For example, they have the value from advertiser, and from they have to pay to outsource for the content of magazine, and the reader, this distributor, they pay to magazine, and they sales, and they have to pay for print house. And when they use the augmented reality mobile app, then they can get more value. Advertiser could be increased. Mobile advertiser could be new, and then they have a new value as a mobile app beside the magazine, and the reader may be increased, not distributor, but reader may be increased. And the next step was that we tried to add some more value after establishing the first step of the product. For example, we can try to make it the app work based on GPS. Could target where is the reader location, what's the reader location, and then get more information, statistical information for the magazine. And even at the last stages, we had the plan to add NFC tags and bring inside GPS and actually offer the advertisement for the malls that when you point to the advertisement with the app, you can use the inside GPS from inside the mall and then go to the exact store location that you are looking. Instead of getting just sign, the app can guide you to go through the mall and then reach to the exact location. Let me show you some video from the real app that I created. Maybe it can show a better. Can you see this one? I don't know. I have two different monitor, and can you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how you can make a picture to show a video over the picture. It's not just a video, it's the mobile app that works based on augmented reality. This one again is the targeted image. If you point the app to just to this picture, an object can bring up. And this one the same. This is, most of the objective reality apps that I created was based on Android and iOS. This one that I'm going to show you is I used Unity framework to create a portal. A portal means a door that you can go through a new world. This is a portal in the middle of winter. It's about -20 degrees. But it seems that you go through a building. It could be a gallery. It could be a museum. It could be any place that you design. You can go through it. You can add some objects that you can touch. You can point, and you can buy, or you can bring some value to the object that you touched. It's just a raw idea. The other one is something the same, but a different technology. You use a 360 video behind the portal. The previous one was a object, but this one is a video. So from in the winter, you can go through a beach, you can walk through, we can add actually extra object anywhere that we want. And when you touch it, you can buy, you can bring more information. It depends to the idea. And you can walk inside and you can come back, and from the portal you can back to the real world. 2 years ago, before COVID, I talked to a company from LA. They produce T-shirt and dresses for young people. We talked to them, we talked to each other, and we decided to bring a new idea. And they asked me to create a virtual, augmented reality store for them. So the plan was they make a virtual or augmented reality store, not virtual, maybe. It's better to say augmented reality store in any place that you want. For example, in the middle of a park. You can set the store over there, any place. You can ask your customers come to visit your stores in nowhere, in no place, and then bring up the objects around the mobile app and let them walk through the objects. And if they want to buy, then they can decide to buy the products that you are showing. So I created a minimum viable product, MVP, based on this idea for them that I show you. This is just a place, and this is a store that has been set based on the GPS. So this store, you can buy it if you are close to them. When you touch it, the product of the store comes up and will be distributed around the store. You see, there are three products that you can walk through them, go behind them, touch them, and then when you touch each, the application actually goes directly to the shopping cart, and then you can buy it. Here I touch the item and is the shopping cart that you can buy from your device. So the location of the product can be designed by the store owner, and the location of the store can be designed by the store owner. So it's not the final product, it's just MVP. This is another sample. Here you see this store. This is the sample. Just you see as a image, but it could be a video. It could be an object. Any of the products or stores can be object. Here I will show you some objects. I set the stores, if they are for a far, for example, more than 20 kilometers, more than 10 kilometers, you cannot buy it. You must go through the store to be near the store. Then the system let you to buy. It depends to the business model, that you want to. This is the object. It could be anything that the store want to present. It could be advertisement. It could be a product that you want to buy. And all of them are touchable. This is the new idea. There is not such a thing in the world, I think. Maybe you find some basic idea or some idea that as an MVP Any questions? This is the object in the top, something like a roof. You can add any object anywhere in your store that you want.
That was great, Batman. Thanks very much. I had actually a meeting with the general hospitals in Toronto last February, I think.
Yeah.
They were very interested to use the virtual reality and augmented reality, the mixing, they call it, the mixing mode, for upgrading the resident under the supervision of the surgeon, an expert over there.
Yeah.
So it seems that on the medicine or on the medical, actually, both of the, in the pharmaceutical, in the medicine and the hospitals, it could be quite useful tools and apps. And I'm very happy that you have been involved and you are a handyman in the developing of such this actually app. So probably, most probably, that would be a window for talking and chatting with the experts in the point of view. Yeah, they need it because for practicing and the skill assessment, they call it, the skill assessment of the new resident, they would like to have such this practice before going to the real, actually, involving with the patients in the operational room. So that was a very good idea. Perhaps that window also we could talk about that later on. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be used in any actually environment. It depends on the business model. It depends on the customer needs. It could be in educational. It could be in industrial. It could be used in as I decided to start in a business, and offer a store in any place. So with this technology, in my idea that with this business model, you can make the world a unit mall. So you have a mall, you are the owner of a mall that the stores are around the world. So actually, when we decided to bring this idea to the market, that COVID happens again, and so it was difficult for the store that ordered this application to get it, and then I tried to offer them a jumping the store. For example, if there is a sport activity and for example 1,000 people are registered to do a jogging and running, we can set the store in their location. When they come, for example, they can buy athletic stuffs, but this project has been stopped for now.
I'm a bit actually surprised why in the era of the COVID-19, which is the best period of the time.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, but it needs a place. It needs a place to gather the people together. Maybe this is the problem, because you have to go somewhere to buy. This sample is I'm showing you has been created on iOS. Yeah, you have to go to a place to buy it. Maybe you can we set it as a way that you can buy the product when you are at your home, but I think it doesn't have any benefit over there. Maybe the benefit is that you don't go somewhere. But with this business model, the basic idea was to bring people out and ask them. The PowerPoint of this idea was that two business could join together. For example, I can go to Tim Horton and ask, I have 10,000 customers in Toronto, and I want to set a store in your store, in your coffee shop, and ask my customers come to this coffee shop and start to buy. So 10,000 people will come to your coffee shop. It's kind of mixing the businesses.
So Bahman,
Yeah.
we in train we are. Did you hear anything about the HoloLens of Microsoft?
Yes, is a augmented based reality, but it could be, you know, when with this technology, one idea was that you can bring the other person near to you. For example, we are on the Zoom and we are talking with just the pictures, but with this technology and HoloLens, you can bring some persons near you and get a better connection.
Yes, we designed some training course for the technician on the site by the HoloLens.
Oh, interesting.
We brings the compressor, the turbo core compressors, and we developed, you know, many tools, hologram tools. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go and see, you know, for example, there are 4 or 5 section different part of the compressor, side, top side, bottom side, you know, that we're gonna
very interesting.
Very interesting and very powerful.
You can do it with this simple augmented reality mobile apps. But the problem is that you have to have the image processor, the ability to cut the person, you know, just like the image behind me. If I can cut the image from the other side, then I can create this image on my mobile app and bring the person near me. Yeah, it's very interesting technology.
Yeah. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And this is definitely the future.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. Future. You know, when COVID happened, I designed this just a sample and make a video and send it to CP24 to actually show to ask them to show as the hashtag with Toronto together or something like this. They didn't show it, but actually I did it. So encourage people to stay at home and follow the rules. This was just a sample that I wanted to show you based on the augmented reality.
So I have a question. You mentioned that you're gonna, for example, you gave us an example in Tim Horton. So I cannot understand how you can go to the Tim Horton or any store and convince, for example, the owner.
No, forget about Tim Horton, because Tim Horton at this stage is very big store. But if you have if you have the 10,000 customer for your store,
yeah,
then with this 10,000 customer, you can go to for example, to a store, coffee shop, a mall, you know, and then get a joining business with them, do a joining business with them. Did I get your?
Not exactly.
Question?
So
misunderstanding.
No, I didn't. I didn't get you 100%. So you have 10,000 or anyway. So how you can, you know, convince them, or you can help him to mix?
Because this 10,000 people, for example, in a week can go to their coffee shop, try to buy. When they are there, they will order coffee and, you know, cake and something.
Yeah, but
from
my question, okay.
I will get as a augmented reality store, I will get the benefit to sell my products to my customers and introduce it to a new business. From their point of view, they get new customers, 10,000 in their stores. You know, when I'm buying for example, a t-shirt, I will order 2 coffee at that time. They will get benefit from this.
Okay, so you bring all the products that can be related to each other and put it in a pre-designed.
Now, this is my store.
Yeah.
For example, I'm the store owner. I'm selling t-shirt, just t-shirt, okay? And then you have a coffee shop. And I ask you, next week, I can set up my store inside your store. And then my customers, if my customers wants to buy, they must be in your store. They must come to your store, to your location.
Okay, or you can give some incentive as some off, so something like that. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. This is not a. It could be. This is not a virtual store. It's not a website. So I can set it up to work just based on a location, GPS. So you cannot buy my products when you are at your home. You just like the real store, you have to come. You must come to my location. Any location. Today I said that customers come to Leslie Park.
Yeah, so
you can buy it.
So I think that the big difference between your products and for example, the buying from the Amazon is your product gives a special feeling of going shopping.
Yeah,
like
and going shopping, and since for now, because it's the MVP, you see just image, but it could be object. If you want to buy a t-shirt, it's object. You can go behind it. You can wear it. You can change the color. If is a glasses, you can wear it on your eyes, and you can try it on your face. You can change the color. Is the difference. You can see the product from behind. You can not real touch, but we can get you a kind of touch.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any question?
Thank you, Bahman. I was really amazed by your presentation and the product that you made. It was really nice.
Thank you.
That was very interesting, Bahman. So I wonder if you could sometime give us some more technical things or technical discussion about AR as well.
Sorry, about what?
About AR, augmented reality. If you can give us some more technical.
If you need any help, any of you guys need help, I can share my information.
Okay, thank you. Okay, because we have 30 minutes left to our meeting, so we can ask. Yes.
So sorry for interruption. I have a question, dear Bahman. I have a question. I want to know how AR and VR are innovative in Canada to work on, in a startup. I know that it is very widespread these days, but I'm not sure if it's still a blue ocean or not.
Yeah, if I get your question right, is in tech side, is a technology side. So if it depends to idea. With this store idea, I went to venture lab, and they said if you could find a big customer just like Tim Horton or McDonald's, and then we support you and we want to bring this product up, But I'm a technical guy, So the business is a challenge for me.
I see.
So the brand that I said in the beginning, is 3 different miles could solve any startup challenge problem.
Isn't there any application for this kind of technology or product which can be used by the customers? I mean, B2C kind of business, not B2B kind of business. You know what? Because if you want to find a business to use this technology, it would be a bit difficult. But if you're thinking of an application of this product, which can be useful for end users, maybe you would be it would be much easier.
Yeah, the simple version is that you bring some tutorial staffs for kids, for example, for any user, students user, you know, that for example, you point with AR, you can point to some objects, and then the device can know the object, find the object, you know, and then bring some information about the object. It depends to the idea and business model that you want to set.
But I think and suggest that if you try to work on it and try to make it B2C kind of business, it would be much easier to work on it in, you know, based on digital marketing and other tools, so that you can penetrate in the market much.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I think both should be difficult, because the creating the product is something, and bring it to the market is different. 10 years ago, I set up a idea to share the map, your daily route map, with the customers, and I made the product. It was based on, it wasn't based on the business to business, it was the business to customer. You know, I offered them, and you can share your daily route with anybody in the world. But the trick point was that nobody trusts the sharing their activity, route activity. This is the bottleneck that I encountered, you know. So Snapchat has it, you know, you can share your last location. But I think before starting to produce the product, you have to do your market research.
Definitely, and generally, I think based on the market research and the needs of the market, you need to try to brainstorm on the ideas and the applications of this kind of technology and products, so that you can have a handful of ideas, and then try to test each one of them, so that you can get the best results out of them.
Yeah, you're
but anyway,
right.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Good luck. Sure.
Thank you, everybody. If there is no more questions for Bahman, we can continue with Dr. Matin. Okay, Dr. Matin, could you please start?
Yeah, just thank you. Bahman mentioned very great points, specifically at the beginning of his presentation, talked about the challenges that most of the startups and the research groups are facing with them. As he mentioned, and I want just to explain here in the chemical environment, actually, most of the people who are working on the ideas, developing some ideas for the business, they are just builders. And the most important section of the idea is just marketing and finding the customers, because at the end of the day, it has to be the product need to be turned to the customers, and the proper customer support need to be provided. If I share my screen, okay. As you know, I'm working in the Rally Engineering. That is, this company is an EPC contractor in Canada. It was established in 2005 in Alberta, in Edmonton. And in Ontario, we started a new office in 2017. And from that time, we started to work with some of the startups who are working in the chemical industries. In this regard, we have some partnership with some of the groups who are supporting the startups in the chemical and biochemical industries. One of the major one that I wanted just to discuss about that, and just to introduce you some of the active projects that are in progress right now. There is a organization in Canada, Bioindustrial Innovation in Canada, that who are supporting the industry, the startups and the companies who are working, who are trying to produce some specific chemicals, specifically in the biochemical industries or renewable fuels or renewable materials. And this organization try to provide some specific support to the startups, specifically to help them to develop their business plan, to develop their business market, figure out what is the target market for each of them. And since 2015, this organization established a new services that is called as commercialization of sustainable chemistry innovation, that they called as ComSci. And from that point of time, they started many projects and they supported many companies. If I come into if you search in the Google Bioindustrial Innovation Canada, you can find lots of details about their activities in the previous years. In the ComSci, that is shows the commercialization of sustainable chemistry innovation. In this section, they have some information about the projects that they are supporting the startups. If I scroll down a little bit here, if I go to the projects, yeah. Sorry, I just investment. If I have to come into the investment, sorry. If I come into the ComSci investment, they provided a list of the groups and projects that are in progress right now. Some of them are in green on the top of the page that shows the ideas that are in progress and they are in the development stage. And some of them are in red that they have already established and most of them are the actual business right now. For example, if I come here, for example, one of the biggest company in Western Ontario was established in 2016, was BioAmber, that right now this BioAmber has a new owner that they are producing some sort of the biochemical in the Western Ontario. Or Ubiquity Solar Incorporation is another example of the companies that was developed a business, and right now they have established business to generate different type of the solar panels. And also there are many other examples here that you can see that our company, the Rally Engineering, we have a partnership with Bioindustrial Innovation Canada, and we are providing some services to those companies to develop their ideas or to scale up their ideas from the laboratory scale to the commercial scale. As some other examples that I can give you some idea, for example, CO2 GRO Incorporation is a company that they are trying to, as Ali mentioned about the smart plant, they are trying to develop some specific smart plant or farms to use CO2. Because as we know that CO2 is a greenhouse gas, and any idea or any method that can consume CO2 in any form will be beneficial for the environment. And as we know, the government of Canada support those type of the ideas. As in my second part of my discussion, I will give you some more idea about that. Or, for example, the woodland biofuel is another example of the companies that their plan is in progress right now. They are almost in the detail engineering phase, and they plan to start their plant in maybe by end of 2022. And they are just producing some sort of the renewable fuels from the agricultural waste products. Or Comet Biorefining is another company who are producing some sort of the biomaterials from the agricultural waste. Their first stage focus will be just producing sugar from a specific bioreaction that is completely new, and it will increase the performance of the sugar production. Most of those companies are established from the lab scale, and right now some of them are pretty in the advanced stages to establish their commercial stage, plant, and to complete their product. But yeah, the Bioindustrial Innovation Canada is one of the organizations that the people who are working in the chemical industries can just contact them, and then it can give them some supports, and it will be a start point for the small companies actually. But based on our experience really in the past few years, we found that some projects in the chemical industries related to different type of the renewable, for example, renewable energy or renewable fuel or renewable materials are the point of interest in Ontario actually. Renewable materials or renewable fuels are some sort of the chemical materials that can be produced from different type of the agricultural waste. For example, right now in the Sarnia in Western Ontario, Southwestern Ontario, there are a couple of companies who are trying to produce renewable fuels from the agricultural waste. Renewable fuels, for example, is like gasoline or even gas oil that can be used as a fuel in different industries divisions. As we know, this company started with Bioindustrial Innovation Canada first, and they established their pilot plant in the University of Alberta. And then right now they are in the stage of the designing of the commercial scale of their unit. Or there are some other companies that are working to prepare different type of the materials, biomaterials, for example, converting the agricultural materials to the rubbers or plastics or some different type of the polymers is another type of the projects that are ongoing right now. And also some other companies who are working on the energy will be a very good example of the focus of interest for fundings in Ontario, that if you have any idea that can just create energy or save energy with any method, it can be just some ideas that can be developed under the current market that we have. We can see from the different industries. But as I mentioned, when we are working with those companies, with those startups, we found that sometimes they have some problems in terms of because for example, they have some good ideas that can be developed, but some of the major parts of their ideas are not completed or are not really are not realistic really. And then after a brief review, we will find that, oh, there are lots of problems and maybe it can impact the feasibility of the plan. And yeah, the feasibility study of the plan and preparing a good business plan is the first step, or is the key step, that our idea need to be feasible in terms of the market. We have to find the proper customers. We have to find the proper methods, or we have to provide the products with a reasonable price to the customers, or price need to be competitive with the other competitors. Or sometime we found that the companies have some problems in terms of the capital cost. For example, we had one example a couple of months ago that they got some fund to establish a new plant. Just as an example, $10 million, they got some $10 million fund. But when we developed their idea, we found that, they need to at least to have $18 million to be able to establish that unit. And then they found some major challenges because funding is a very, very critical part of some ideas. Then the other examples that I can give you, some of the design approach or unpractical ideas are some of the major problems that they have. For example, they designed some equipment in the laboratory scales, but when we wanted just to scale up the system to the commercial scale, we found that, it requires some specific materials, or the size of the system is very huge and is unpractical to be established in a reasonable design. Or operability issues or maintenance issues are some critical parts that need to be considered in the ideas. For example, if we have some process or some process to produce some specific material in the lab scale, it will be easy for us to provide, for example, a very high temperature or very high pressure. But when we are coming into the commercial scale, producing high temperature, reducing the heat transfer or mass transfer resistance inside the equipment will be a big challenge. And then the products cannot be produced with the proper quality, and then lots of impurities will be added to the system. And the other example that I can give you about the challenges or the barriers that the startups are facing with them is the waste disposals. Again, in the lab scale, if we want just to create some sort of the chemicals, it will be easy to manage the waste material, but in the commercial scale, the waste can be a killer for the project. Actually, if you are generating some specific waste that can increase the air pollution or water pollution, definitely it will be a stopper for the project. You cannot get the proper permits from the Ministry of Environment or the other organizations or legislations in the provinces. Then those parts are some examples that we found that many of the companies or startups didn't consider in their initial assessment, and then when they spend some money and complete the lab scale and they are in the stage of developing the ideas, they will facing with lots of the technical issues and technical problems. Those are just that's recommended that if, for example, a research group is working on some specific area, items or ideas, definitely it will be very beneficial for them to work with some developer groups or engineering team to be able to resolve the challenges at the earliest stage of the projects. But in this, I wanted just to give you some, because in our last session, Dr. Shahidi gave us a very good presentation about the different type of the fundings that are available in Canada, specifically NRC. I wanted just to go through some of them and to figure out what's going to happen, what's the idea in the chemical industries, and how the chemical industries can be as part of those programs. If I come back here, one of the links that Dr. Shahidi sent us last time was the current funding opportunities. Just I go through this link, and then I found some interesting information here that there are some areas that we may find some, if you have some idea in the different sections, maybe you can find your ideas under those items that are listed here. For example, emissions reduction fund is one of the most important one that if I go to this link, it shows that how emission reduction fund are available and how it can be allocated to your idea to different companies. For example, right now, as it is mentioned here, about $675 million fundings are available for onshore facilities and $75 million for offshore program. And here, as it's mentioned, that for onshore facilities, the proposals are closed, but for offshore programs, there are still still accept the proposals. If we go to the offshore program, there are new offshore emissions reductions funds, helps economy and environment. The offshore, this is just related to the oil and gas system, oil and gas industries. Actually, the offshore means the production of oil and gas. That is the section of the industry that is related to the oil and gas production in the production units, for example, in Alberta or any in Texas, for example, there are many production plants, the wells, oil wells, or oil sand facilities. Still, they are accepting the proposals for any idea that can reduce the emission, actually, because specifically in the offshore facilities, they are very risky in terms of the emissions and the pollutions. Then any idea in that area that can be considered in this program, in this funding stage. If I go to another link that we discussed about, that there are different programs for funding. Some of them are related to oil sands. You can see that pipeline material research, renewables, coal and CO2 capturing, building innovation, housing innovations, commercial and industrial innovations, and energy efficiency. Each of them provides lots of discussions here. You can find lots of information that shows that how the facility, how the fundings can be available. For example, because we are pretty close to end of the meeting, I wanted just to give you some very quick review on this. For renewable energy, any activities on the, for example, solar photovoltaic facilities, solar cells, or bioenergy, or wind energy, or solar thermal, are the point of interest by the government, actually. For example, for solar cells, again, there are many descriptions and information here. We can see that what is the ongoing project on each section. For example, the smart grids or low energy solar homes. And most of them, as I can see, the people who are working in the different areas, when we are talking about the chemical industries or chemical engineering or energy, definitely different expertise can be used. People who have some IT backgrounds or electronic or mechanic, they can just provide some innovative ideas to use the specific technology to reduce the emissions or create the new materials. I think that, yeah, that can be a good start point. I don't know, those are the ideas or items that are in progress right now. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas about that, we can just work together and figure out how it can be a project or a research project and how we can find some funding for that. I don't know if I have to stop sharing. Yeah, any sorry, it was very quick. I tried to be within the time frame that we have, but anyway, if there is any questions or any ideas that we can share.
Dear Martin, thank you. Can I ask a question? That you mentioned about the development barriers that the startups involve some barriers when after a while.
Yeah.
It's good idea. It's good point that you mentioned that any startups that want to start the business, it's better to have a very broad view before starting and know how the challenges are and the expenses in any stage. And in chemical industry that you are working, how difficult is could be for the startups you think that guess, for example, from the stage 1 to the end and create a big company with the public share, and they need, for example, $100 million to invest at that stage. How could be challenge for them in your field?
The cost estimating of the projects are very critical for any project actually. If we want to know that how much does it cost, that we can just establish the system, specific system. Actually, the cost includes a capital cost. It means that the bulk of the money that we should have or funding that we should have to be able to establish the system, and plus we need to have some cash flow to be able to run for the system at least for 1 year. Actually, the total will be just the required cost to be able to run the system. Unfortunately, at the many of the startups that I am working with them are there are some scientists, okay, that they are just focused on the core of the process, at core of the ideas, okay. And then when we are trying to help them to figure out what's their project in terms of the cost, we have some potential. Actually, many of the engineering companies, they can provide this type of the services in terms of the cost estimate, depending on the available information. Normally, we are dealing with the project in some different phases. The phase 1 of the project can be, based on the information of the phase 1, we can just estimate plus minus 50% of the actual cost. But by continuing the design of the system, it can the accuracy of the cost estimate can be improved up to plus minus 30% or plus minus 10% estimate. Normally, plus minus 10% estimate can be available when all your detail engineering phase has been completed, actually. But yeah, at the beginning of the idea, definitely the research group need to be able to have some cost estimate. It can be available using some fact and figures that normally the engineering or estimators have, plus some of the, actually, if, for example, if you want just to install a specific plant, you need some specific type of the PLC, definitely you can just directly contact vendors and the manufacturers and to have your cost estimate. But just be careful about the cost estimate. It is not just the cost of the equipment that you need for the unit. Okay, the installation is a big part. The renting of the place or the required utilities or the waste management, and also the cash flow for at least 1 year of the operation will need to be considered in the cost estimate.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you, because if you work on your idea, on your company, your startup, and after 3 years working, and challenges, and then you hit the wall, and see, oh, I couldn't see this before. So maybe at the start, when they sit together and want to set the startup, the corporation, that they think about what kind of challenges they will be involved in the future. Maybe is a critical point, is a save time and save money, or even save the company, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I would like to thank you for a nice presentation and very informative. And I have a couple of the questions. First of all, I'm just wondering if the project that is coming to this organization, like that bio, yeah, like one, are they necessarily should be a new idea, or you can still use the existing processes?
Actually, as I can see, they have some measurements to select the proper project. For example, you can just submit your proposal through those organizations, and they will review and they will give you some idea that okay, it is acceptable to be supported or not. Definitely, the website that we show on the we discussed in the previous sessions, actually, that I just shared some of those websites with you in the chemical or energy industries. That will be just some focal point that definitely you can find some support. But anyway, at the end of the day, if you can just prepare a proper business plan that you are going to resolve some issues, some industrial issues, or you are providing some products with some specific advantage with respect to the other products that are already can be found in the market, definitely it can have some potential that you can find some support from them.
Right, because you know, when you're talking about waste reduction, recycling, there are a lot of existing processes already are using. So you can come up with the same idea with a nice feasibility study for existing processes.
Yeah.
So it can be considered.
It can be considered, I think. Okay. Yeah. As long as it is feasible, you find that, oh, you have the proper market, you have some competitors in the market, but you can provide a better price, a product with a better price, okay, to the market, then you can have some market for yourself. Definitely, it can be considered as a project, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. And my second question is, probably you had it before. I just joined the group, but let me know if you had it in the previous session so I can refer to that. I just need a very general description of the process from A to Z when a project wants to be considered through the organization, what stages it need to be passed, and how it can be applying for funding through the organization you already mentioned.
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe we need just to dig a little bit more in details to figure out if there is any specific A to Z picture to figure out. But yeah, the first one will be just the business plan, as I know. Okay, you need just to come up with your idea, and based on your idea, sometimes your idea are completely developed. Okay, sometimes it's not, and you need just to spend some money to develop your idea. That can be, as I think the last session, Dr. Shahidi discussed about some website that, if you want, we can just share it with you again. That shows that there are some labs. Okay, then you can just refer to them and just work in as a partnership with them about your idea, to develop your idea, to figure out if your idea is feasible or not. But when you pass that stage and you find that some of the proper details of your idea, then organization like BIC, Bioindustrial Innovation Canada, or the similar organization that are in different regions of the Canada. And I know that, for example, in Toronto, and there are some organizations that can help the industries, maybe in Mississauga or in some other part. That organizations can help the system, can help the people or the companies to develop their business plan, okay, and then apply for funding. And then when you can, if you go through that, those, and most of them are, I think, should be free because there are non-profit organizations that are related to the government, yes, and they are just here just to support people and the startups. Some of them are based in the universities. For example, the people who are working in the universities can just give use some of the other fundings that can be available from the universities actually, but definitely in that part, the project, you need to have a partnership with the universities. Maybe Dr. Mortazavi or the other friends can just give more details about that, but yeah, I think there are some way that we can.
So this organization can provide you, even in the stage of the feasibility study, some support, because
yes.
Because up to prototype, even you have a lot to spend, and
yes.
if you want to self-funding that sometimes is not feasible.
Yes, actually, in southwestern Ontario, because I am based in Sarnia in the Lambton County, there is an organization here that calls, I think, the Lambton County Partnership, Economical Partnership, or something like that. That is completely non-profit organization, is funded by the government. And when you are referring to them, okay, they can help you to develop your business plan. They have some templates, they have some experience before, and they can give you some tips or some idea, or they can introduce the different group or different organizations that can support you to develop your idea actually. But I believe that this should be the same group should be in the different regions, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, thank you, Dr. Martin. Is there any other questions? Thanks for your nice presentation. If there is any other questions for Dr. Martin, if you have any ideas on how we can improve our meetings, so we don't want to have just informative meetings, as you guys you told that we had informative meeting, but it's not enough. We'd like to have productive meetings at the end of each meeting. So we'd like to have a products. So if you give me some ideas how we can convert this informative meeting to productive meeting, so it will be highly appreciated.
Sorry, I have a question. Thank you very much, Dr. Pawari, for your nice presentation. In fact, I want to ask about carbon capture. I don't know how or how much to what extent the technologies in this area have been, in fact, improved, and how much they are dominant in the market. And is there any chance to work on these? I want to know your evaluation over CO2 capture and the technologies related to that.
I think for CO2 capturing in Ontario, I didn't hear anything about that. But yeah, in the West, in Alberta and BC, I believe, yeah, there are some ongoing projects over there for carbon capturing, actually, or CO2 capturing. In Sarnia, in this region, there was a startup company who started a new idea to use the CO2 produced by the chemical plants here in this region, and they plan to convert it to different type of the products. Okay, for example, methanol or something like that, if I can remember. But that project has been stopped for some reasons. I don't know why, but they planned to establish a new plant here to to use the CO2 or greenhouse gases generated by the refiners, local refiners here, and to convert it to some sort of the chemicals. But it was stopped. But I know that there are something in progress ongoing in BC, specifically in North BC and North Alberta. Yeah.
I guess the University of Calgary did a very good job on that, and they had it is even commercialized. I know they performed a very good project in Saskatchewan for that, and they have a research center there, and proudly most of them Iranian, and they did very good job. If you are interested, you can just check the website.
I will do that. So you said University of Calgary.
University of Calgary, yeah.
Which department, by the way?
I believe it should. They have an oil and gas department.
Yeah, petroleum department.
Which including chemical and many subfield of the basically oil and gas field.
I asked this question because, as far as I know, this carbon capturing has been a very strategic and political issue these days, and it's very valuable in order to get this. Yeah.
Canada is one of the pioneers in this research, as far as I know.
Great. US is the first pioneer, maybe the Canada next.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Dr. Moshiri, do you have any advice for us?
Just advise us, Dr. Moshiri.
You're on mute. Can you hear us, Dr. Moshiri? You're on mute.
It looks there is a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a network issue, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a network issue.
Okay, so Dr. Payman, do you have any advice?
Just first time joined to this meeting. Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Bahman, for this informative presentation. Bahman, it was a great idea. When you were explaining, I was imagining that smart card and how people, instead of ordering online in website, they can like drop by virtually and grab whatever they want. And I have another suggestion: price comparison. Like if it's like a mall, so sometimes they see some products with a price, so they can have the other stores, other shops price, so they can price match. So this option, if you see, like I forgot this store's name, it's similar to Superstore. Their policy is based on price matching. Like if you buy something and you say, okay, Walmart, Superstores, Ecom, it's something like that with a green logo, and people are going there. So I see.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's been 3 months that store starts working, but it's a lot compared to Superstore and Walmart. I think it's a good option if you can add for that.
Yeah, why not? Good idea. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so we have plans for our next meeting should be on next 2 weeks. So if you like to have a speech about your projects, your grants, everything else, please let me know to organize it together.
Okay.
Any questions or nothing else? Thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks,
thank you,
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
And thanks, Bahman, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.